From pub to palace, the untold fairy tale, how King Frederik and Queen Mary met, courted, and captivated the world. Welcome to B News. Every royal fairy tale has two sides, the one the public sees, and the one whispered behind closed palace doors. Today, August 11, 2025, we pull back the gold-embroidered curtain to reveal a royal romance that was nearly broken before it began. From a chance meeting in an Australian bar to shadowy challenges within the palace, this is the untold story of how King Frederik of Denmark fell for Queen Mary, and the secrets that almost kept them apart. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to B News and tap the notification bell so you never miss our deep dive royal investigations. And if you're watching, let us know in the comments, do you believe palace life strengthens love, or destroys it? It all began during the Sydney Olympic Games in the year 2000. The world was watching athletes make history, but in one unassuming corner of Sydney's nightlife, history of another kind was unfolding. At the slip-in, Mary Donaldson, a marketing executive with no royal ties, was enjoying a night out. Across the room, Crown Prince Frederik was quietly blending into the crowd, far from the watchful eyes of the Danish court. Their first exchange was simple, no grand gestures, no official introductions. But for those close enough to notice, there was an undeniable spark. Still, what neither could have known was that this seemingly innocent encounter would set in motion a love story that would be tested in ways few could imagine. In the weeks that followed, they kept their budding connection hidden. There were calls, emails, and secret visits. But even in those early days, shadows loomed. Behind palace gates, voices questioned whether a commoner, an Australian, no less, could ever truly fit into Denmark's centuries-old monarchy. For some, Mary was an unpredictable element in a tightly controlled royal system. Mary soon realized that falling in love with a prince meant stepping into a life where every move was dissected. The palace had protocols, traditions, and a deep-rooted expectation of who a future queen should be. And she didn't fit the mold. Some insiders even whispered that Frederik was risking the stability of the monarchy by pursuing her. But what makes their story compelling is that they didn't turn away from the storm, they walked straight into it. Frederik began making secret trips to Australia under the guise of private travel. Mary slipped quietly into Denmark, avoiding the public eye, learning about the country's culture and its language in private. These were not grand, romantic gestures for the cameras, these were acts of quiet rebellion against an establishment that preferred its royals predictable. As the relationship deepened, so did the stakes. In Denmark, advisors worried about public perception. In Australia, Mary's friends wondered if she was giving up too much, her career, her independence, her privacy. And yet, both held on. Frederik admired her resilience. Mary, in turn, saw in him not just a prince, but a man willing to stand against tradition for the woman he loved. By the time the relationship became public, the press went into a frenzy. Tabloids splashed their faces across front pages, some calling Mary the fairytale princess, others branding her an outsider with everything to prove. And while the public saw smiles and formal engagements, behind the scenes the couple were negotiating the invisible weight of royal duty and the ever-present scrutiny of the court. When Frederik proposed, it was more than a romantic moment, it was a defiant stand. He was telling the world, and the palace, that this was the woman he would marry, no matter the cost. On May 14, 2004, their wedding became a global spectacle, a fusion of fairy tale and rebellion. But even as Mary walked down the aisle, some inside the palace still doubted. Could love alone be enough to survive the unrelenting demands of monarchy? In the years since, King Frederik and Queen Mary have built a public image of unity, raising a family and championing causes close to their hearts. But if the whispers are true, the challenges they faced in those early years never completely disappeared. There are moments, say insiders, when the pressures of tradition, media, and politics press hard against the walls of their marriage. And so, this love story remains more complex than the fairy tale headlines suggest. It's a story of passion, yes, but also of politics, sacrifice, and an unspoken understanding that in the palace, loyalty must be constantly proven. So, as we tell their tale today, we leave you with one question: Is the bond that began in a Sydney bar strong enough to weather the storms that still gather over the Danish throne? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned to B News for more exclusive royal revelations.